Okay. I want to get into some business stuff in a bit, but before we get there, what are some production tips for producers? What are some secret weapons you use, plugins? What are some of the things people might not expect you do or use, or how you create or how you get in the zone? Just walk
Hmm.
people through that your creative process and any other tips you can share with other people.
Okay, this works for me, and and I've actually spoken to T minus about this, and he kind of like encouraged me to do this. Um, t Honestly, like don't overwork yourself. Like I cannot sit down and make 10 beats every day back to back. Like there are times where yes, I can if I'm really inspired and like I have a lot of dope people sending me stuff that I'm like that inspires me and I'm like this is like almost effortless. And there's times where I have done like 10 or 12 beats, like really good ones and not just like quick ideas in a day from morning to night just because um I'm inspired and like I'm inspired by the sounds I'm hearing and it's like again like it's like effortless. But there's a lot of times where like you got to take a step back and like actually get inspiration, go outside, like go enjoy your life, go see people that you love if you have people that you love, like go and be around people, go and do things, like stop thinking about music so much and go listen to other genres and go listen to other things and like get inspiration from other places because I swear to God, all you do is listen to like rap music, you will and then just try to make 10 beats a day. Number one, you're going to burn out super quick, and number two, your beats are all going to sound the same unless you're like a protege, you know what I'm saying, like unless you are just naturally incredible. It's so important to get inspiration from other places because that's how you learn, that's how you expand your breadth. um, which is what I try to do. And it's super important to just go out and enjoy the other parts of life. Like a lot of these people are like young people, like between the ages of maybe as low as 16 to like, and or your mid to late 20s, early 20s, it doesn't matter. Like these are the, times where you want to be outside, where you want to be seeing your friends, where you want to be living, because then your 30s or like whatever the case is. And, you have less time for these things. Or, when you get older, you start seeing your friends less because they're doing their things and, you're doing yours. And like, so for music, from a non-music perspective, like a non-production standpoint, that is the most important thing in life. To me, go and actually live. Do things. You know, see your family, see your loved ones. Um, go to the park. Whatever. Um, I think that is the most important thing for me of all time. Um, Production-wise, I say don't force anything. So, you know, if it's not really if there's something you're really there's a difference. Okay, so there's a difference between forcing something and then working hard on something. For me, um if I'm not feeling something, I'm just done working on it. Like I'm not going to force myself to work on something I'm not feeling. Like I don't care if they're like, Lil Baby wants a pack right now. Like Lil Baby's looking for a pack. If I don't feel like making like trap beats, which I don't really feel like making a lot of the time, I'm not going to make the pack. I'm going to focus on stuff that I really do like making and like with people that I really like creating with or for, because it gets a better performance out of me and it's something I'm more proud of. Like I've had songs come out with like pretty decently big artists that I don't listen to. Like I don't really care about them. It's not as exciting as maybe somebody might think it is for me because number one, I never had a hand in like actually making the song. It was just me sending off a beat and like, okay, here's the song. And number two, I didn't really care for it, like because I have no attachment to it. So for me, the most important thing when I'm producing is like not forcing things. So if it's effortless, if I'm like hear a melody or if I'm making something and I'm like really into it, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do the job. I'll like go crazy on it just because I'm like, number one, it's inspiring me. Number two, I'm feeling it, like I'm loving it. Number two, um, don't feel the need to make those 10 beats. Like you don't have to. Like if you focus and really make quality shit, like I've been doing this for 12 years. So now I can do something with really good quality quickly because I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm looking for. I know how to use the software. Like it's the back of my hand. So for me, making something really cool doesn't take that long anymore because I just know the technical part of it so well. So like as soon as I think it, I know how to do it. But that doesn't mean that it's not dope. It just means that I know my shit really well. But there's times where I need to like I'm like I gotta find the right sound for this. I gotta tweak this properly. I gotta make sure this works. I gotta all that kind of stuff. And that just means that I really like it and I'm gonna spend the time to work on it. Um, And then there's times where like it happens like this. Like I'll have 30 minutes in and out. The beat will be basically finished because I'm like in a groove and I'm like, yes, this is the sound. And here, and I know this pack has this, and this is the effects I want to do on this, and blah 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 blah. And then I'll do like a lot of beats quickly. But for my production, it's just if I'm forcing it, I'm not doing it. I really only do shit if I really love what I'm hearing. If it's shit that I would like to hear somebody do. And really, actually, honestly, that's probably it. Like shit, like for my production, is like just feel good about what you're doing. Like it's not supposed to be a job. It's really, music is an expression of you. Like you're supposed to love what you're doing, and I really maintain that mindset. So personally, for me, it's just like that's just how I work, and it always has been. Like for me, the way I view things is that what like do something different. Like do something that you really love, because even if it's bad, you've probably learned something from doing it, which you will can then apply to future production or future songs or whatever, like stuff that you might have done. Like maybe this beat is bad, but I did this one cool thing that I could do to the next song that would be really cool. And it could be like some real experimental shit that could go bad. And if it goes bad, it doesn't matter because it just sits on your hard drive and no one has to listen to it. No one judges you. But if it goes really good, then you've just done something that no one else has done. And then everyone is going to listen to it, because if you get that sound out, then all of a sudden it's like, yo, they started that sound and that shit is super cool. Like that's a really cool thing that they did. And now it becomes popular. So it's really a no lose situation. Right. So that's just kind of how I always work. If the artist wants something really simple, then I do something easy breezy, like don't go crazy with it. Nothing, too out of the box. Okay. But when I'm just making beats on myself, I really just try to be like, okay, let's try to do something a little bit different. Let's try to get some inspiration from elsewhere. Let's do something that I would like to hear an artist go on. And then that's kind of where I rock.
Okay. Very briefly, if you had to rewind the clock of time and do this again, is there mistakes you've made along the way that you wish you could do over?
See, the funny thing is the answer is you want to say yes, right? But then I think you learn the most from these mistakes, where you're like, oh, I should have done that, because then you do it next time. Then you know for like subsequent times after that. I honestly think that I'm grateful for everything that I've done, mistake or not, because maybe I made a mistake, but maybe it taught me something that I then applied to a future situation. Because no one knows, like I could go back and say, yeah, I would change what I would do here, but then maybe I wouldn't have been prepared for that situation after that, or maybe I wouldn't have learned how to do this or that or whatever from not learning that mistake. So honestly, and like this is no bullshit, like I probably say no. Like I think everything I do has led me up to where I'm at today, and I'm grateful for that.